Country Shooter 98 here today, and today this video is how to diagnose if you have a flinch shooting pistols or milking it, whatever you want to call it, and more importantly, a way to correct it. I see a lot of people that write comments and will have videos, and it's always, you know, how to diagnose if you have a flinch or if you're milking the gun when you're shooting. I very rarely see anybody that has a whole lot of ways to correct it. So before we get into it, I just want to say thanks to everybody who's been watching the videos. If you like this video or like any of our past videos, please feel free to comment and to hit the like button and subscribe. We'd love for you to subscribe. So anyways, let's get to this. Now myself, I've been shooting guns for a pretty good while now. When I first started shooting gun years ago, I had a little bit of a flinch and I corrected it really just out of range time. I was just, you know, going to the range constantly. But in the last couple of years, I had developed a flinch again. I didn't realize it though. I'm just a regular guy. I have a job. YouTube isn't my job. And I had messed my wrist up at work. For about a year, I didn't shoot pistols much. And then I turned around and crushed my finger at work. So it was about another year I didn't get to shoot pistols much. So at first, I just thought my grip strength was gone in my right hand. I'm left-handed, but I shoot guns right-handed. I was just like, man, I'm not gripping it. Everything's just low. So I started working my wrist and getting my grip and my wrist strength back. So it helped a little. Still shooting low. Low every shot, low left some shots. So I was like, man, surely I haven't developed a flinch. So what I did was I had my snap caps. I loaded up a mag, not paying no attention, looking away. I mixed a snap cap in there and just loaded them up. So that way you don't know where it's at. This is how you diagnose if you have a flinch. So I'm going through, shooting my live rounds, just taking my time. Sure enough, I get to my snap cap, and what do? I'm shooting, and there it went. I was like, man, I can't believe I've developed a flinch again over the last couple of years. And mine was really just from the injuries to my hand and wrist, but mostly it was just from not shooting pistols enough and just overcompensating stuff. That's what I was doing. The best way that I could recommend once you've diagnosed you have a flinch to fix your flinch is Dryfire. Okay, I've heard different reasons on why people think they have a flinch. The loudness of the gun, so they'll double up earplugs and muffs. The loudness of firing the gun doesn't really bother me at all. Another one is people say they anticipate the recoil and they're over squeezing. That can be very true. But this kind of ties into that. My problem was, okay, I'm shooting right-handed, and it wasn't because mine wasn't because I was anticipating the recoil as much as I felt like I was trying to squeeze harder because I didn't think my grip strength was good enough. So as I'm squeezing so hard, I'm also squeezing way too hard with my right hand, or I'm gonna pull the trigger, and I'm not being able to exercise my trigger finger independently. As I'm pulling the trigger, all these three fingers are wanting to act like they're pulling the trigger too, and it's causing the gun to dip, if that makes sense. So through Dryfire, what I learned to do in practice was, it was very surprising, dry firing to me. I'd heard people doing it, and I wasn't a big believer until I did it. I started dry firing, and I'm a huge believer in it now. It's amazing how much, if you just watch your sight, just focus it on somewhere on the wall, how much you can actually see if you're pushing the gun to the left or pulling it to the right, or flinching and it's going down. You really can see it just through dry fire, especially if you're using a gun with the red dot, because that red dot is not forgiving at all. So what I have learned to do was those two things that helped me was, in my head, I'm telling myself, okay, you're gonna pull this trigger, but you're not really pulling it, you're pushing it straight back and just be smooth, smooth, okay? That helped a little. The thing that really helped me was I had to almost, after I got so used to just having a death grip on this gun, because I want to feel like it's in a vice, and you do to an extent, but you want it to mostly be coming from your offhand. I felt like the thing that helped me was I'm relaxing my trigger hand to the point where I don't even feel like I have, I'm not squeezing that hard, if that makes sense. I'm coming around this hand and squeezing these fingers so tight that they are tight, but it's because this hand is putting all the pressure. So now this hand, my trigger hand, is so relaxed, I can work my trigger finger independently because I'm doing all the squeezing that feels like this hand more, and this hand's relaxed. So now I'm just pulling the trigger nice and smooth, and my other fingers on my right hand aren't squeezing and want to feel like they're coming and pulling down as this finger is pulling the trigger. So that is how I fixed my flinch. It didn't happen over one session. I dry fired for about 25 to 35 minutes a night, and I would say I didn't shoot a live round for at least 3 weeks. Then I went out and I shot live rounds on a weekend, and I could see the improvement. Okay, so then I went another month. I could see even more improvement. It's helped a lot. It really has helped a lot, and it's just about eliminating the flinch. I don't know if you ever truly will eliminate a flinch or milk him 100% just because anybody shoots pistols. It's just easy. You may have a bad day, you just might not be on, or you might catch yourself doing it. But the main thing is you do catch yourself doing it, and you correct it that day at the range doing live fire. I catch myself sometimes, and you're shooting, you're like, man, I'm missing, and then you realize what you're doing. Okay, relax that right hand, squeeze harder with the left, nice smooth trigger pull, and boom, next thing you know you hit, it seems like. So that's the thing, is don't just keep getting frustrated and just miss. Think about it in your head and say, all right, I'm squeezing too hard with my trigger hand. Let me squeeze harder with my support hand and relax that trigger hand. Now my trigger finger can act independently. So that's how I fixed my flinching and milking problem on the gun, and it's helped tremendously. And I really enjoy dry firing, so you know, anything guns I enjoy, so it's a fun hobby. And who doesn't have 25 or 30 minutes a day, really, if you think about it? You put your phone down, turn the TV off, whatever, and you'd be surprised. You've got time to do it. It doesn't cost anything. Once you buy your snap caps, you know, you're in the hole for 10 or 20 bucks, however many you want to get, and there you go. So that's how I fixed it, and I hope that this will help anybody else that's having a problem with flinching. And if you have any comments or suggestions, I would love to hear them. And I hope y'all enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.